The Honda boardroom door opened and an executive walked in, shouting at the design team. He said, "Make a car that's as fast as anything coming from Italy or Germany." And with that, the Honda Sports Car Experimental was born. With sleek S16 inspired styling, this 90s car was not only capable of picking up sweatpant wearing women, but also indulged the driver with a cockpit located forward of the body for optimal visibility. Wanting to showboat and perhaps recuperate some of their expenditure in F1, Honda also used the NSX as a platform to show some of their most recent technological developments, such as an all-aluminium monocoque body that saved over 200 kilograms of what could have been achieved with steel. Now, we're not quite sure what inspired ISI to include this car in RFactor 2. Perhaps it was the banging 90s music at the last office party, or maybe it was after playing the excellent version of the car produced by Niels for RFactor 1. Of course, all that matters is that anyone with RFactor 2 can now drive it for free, and that's what we're going to do right now. Where else would you take the Honda NSX out for a first time test drive than the Portugal International Raceway? I've got my 7-Up drink ready at my side, and it's go, go, go. Really controllable acceleration there. The little bit of sliding, a little bit of rear end grip loss, but you know, nothing you can't deal with. As everyone sticks on the brakes, I'll try not to rear end anyone. The rear of the car's lifting like a girl's skirt in the wind. Looks absolutely spectacular, and I love the movements of the. Just look at them. The way the physics is. You can see the physics on the AI cars as they move around. Oh, try not to scratch my paintwork up the inside. And I have to say, the force feedback on this is telling me exactly what the car is doing. And the car itself feels perfectly balanced. It's one of those vehicles that just feels natural. Immediately, I'm not really having to try too hard to drive this. We'll brake a little bit early here. There's nothing unsurprising happening. Now, this is pretty much a supercar, obviously, so it's not as tightly set up as your average race car, though RFactor 2 or ISI have done a more racy version of this car. In fact, they've done a whole bunch of different versions and configurations, which will be worth checking out. This is just the basic bog standard version, default setup. I've literally just jumped into RFactor 2 to give it a bash, and it feels absolutely fantastic, like no other car in RFactor 2, to be honest. To be fair, most of the other cars in RFactor 2 are race cars, but this is so much fun. I think to get fast laps, it's the type of car you're going to want to really know the grip of the tyre before you go into a corner and take things really easy and not slide around. But that, of course, is not the most fun way to drive the car. I love how this got so much suspension travel. It's a little bit like an elephant on a skateboard on top of a spring, but not in a bad way. It's just an absolute delight to move this around. And it's so stable. I'm not having to concentrate to sort of plan what the car's going to do. As you get with some sim cars, they seem like a little bit of a chore. This is just, it just feels natural. It feels right. The force feedback communicating the loading of the car, taking a lot of the guesswork out. So as soon as you start getting into a slide, you apply the correct amount of opposite lock, and you're all good. And just you see that when I overtook that guy and nipped the car, lurched on the suspension, but it's exactly what you see in videos of the real world counterpart of this and the way it moves around. Just the AI a little bit slow. I've put them on 100% and 50%, 100% difficulty, 50% aggression, which is a good setting for the go-karting, but with this I think you might need to set the AI strength a little bit higher because it's a little bit slow with this. But what a fantastic car. Oh no, I've totally outdone myself there. 2 laps and he's off the track. It's a disaster. But changing gear with your right hand, driving with your left, absolutely fantastic. The car model itself looks pretty much spot on. I can't really put any complaints with it. The textures of the interior of the car look absolutely fantastic. The way it picks up the highlight of the sun off the interior, you know, it looks like the real thing. The sounds, I think the skid sound's a little bit pervasive. I'm not completely sold on the tyre skid sound. Sounds a bit like someone going absolutely crazy with a pencil trying to erase the homework. But the engine sound, you know, this is not going to sound like a rocket ship, as it is it's essentially a road supercar from the 90s. Well, that's exactly what it is. Just the tyre skid sound, I think, is a little bit of a letdown, but I'm sure you could swap that over if it was bothering you. But all in all, first impressions, absolutely fantastic car. If you were looking for an excuse to get back into RFactor 2 after having had it on your computer and it's just been sat there, this is definitely a good enough reason. If you were on the fence to try an RFactor 2, this is probably a good enough reason to get it. Especially if you like racing AI. I'm not sure about the online and how active it is online. I need to check that out still. But all in all, absolutely cracking car. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to click the old like button, subscribe if you haven't, and then leave an abusive comment. Thanks for watching and goodbye.